Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hey. So welcome to our top 20 series and Danielle, DaniCha, welcome to this awesome top 20. How you doing?
Yeah. Good, good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about all of these games.
So this is the first time ever, I believe, on the Tabletop Express channel where we're actually sharing in two separate YouTube channels right now. So Tabletop
Mhm.
Express channel and DaniCha channel. Which is exciting because I see familiar faces and new ones. So I see traveling with Todd is here.
Yes. Hey, Todd. Good to see you.
See Tyler is here and Marcel from the Discord. What up,
Awesome.
guys? Um, so Danielle, you were tasked with doing a top 20. What was that like?
It took a long time. I used the Pub Meeple site to kind of go through my collection, and so it shows you two games at a time, and you kind of vote which one you prefer over the other. So it took about like 25 minutes for me to go through all of it. And so yeah, I think this is the perfect top 20 list for me. There's a lot of good solo games, some cooperative games, some competitive games too. So a really good mix. So I'm excited to dive into each of those games.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. And those of you watching right now, if you're in the chat, if you have a feeling what you expect to see, feel free to comment that up in the chat. We love hearing that. Um, this, by the way, is part of our top 20 series on Tabletop Express, and we have a couple more top 20s lined up, including next week we'll be having one with Mr. Rao from Mr. Rao Gaming. We'll also have one with Chris Barrows from Tabletop Express, Anthony from Tabletop Express, and then we also are going to be ending with a call-in episode, and also Brian Chandler's top 20, which he's in the chat. So, woo! Look at that. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to bring up the board. Boom. Pretty
This is
dramatic.
awesome, by the way, Ryan. You created this all by yourself, and I think it's amazing how you created each of these sections.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I coded it. But the real challenge is, I was like, hey, give me your list and give me pictures for pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, because that's the harder part.
Hmm.
It is easy now. All right, number 20. Take it away.
Sure. So number 20 is Wingspan. So when I was doing this list this year, I wasn't sure if Wingspan was going to make it because there's just been so many awesome games that hit my table. But Wingspan is hanging on because this was on my list last year. Um, but yeah, it is a very fun game. There's a solo automa mode. So it's created by Automa Factory, and it was my first game that I ever played that had an Automa Factory solo mode. So it was a little bit of a learning curve on how that works because it doesn't play exactly like how a player might play, but close enough. So when I first tried out this game, I was a little bit overwhelmed by the rules and following the Automa, but I really fell in love with it. And I think it's like riding a bike when I play this game. Like even if it's been like a month or two, I could just dive right into playing Wingspan, and it's like no issue for me. And yeah, as a solo player, it's been a really fun game for me. But also, I've played it multiplayer as well, so that's also just as enjoyable. I've been playing a lot of multiplayer on Board Game Arena specifically,
Mm.
which is a great implementation of this game that I love to actually play physically because I have the upgraded components. I have like the neoprene playmat and everything. I have the big box. And I think, yeah, all the expansions that had come out so far for Wingspan, I also have. So it's like endless Wingspan gaming for me. Like if I needed to just pick one game to keep in my collection for the rest of my life, it would be Wingspan.
This is your desert island pick, then,
Yeah, pretty
right?
much, pretty much. Yeah, there's just so much content, and I don't even think I've touched every single like bird card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, and by the way, Chris is saying that he's surprised to see it as low as 20.
I know.
Uh,
But I think it's because it's a staple, and everything else is
yeah.
like there's that excitement factor. Some of them are like newer games on my list. So yeah, this one will probably stay within the top 20 for a while. And I am actually surprised it is down, to the 20, but yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah. And with Wingspan, uh, So it's been around for a little bit now, right? It came out 2019. Last year it was your number 13. Um,
Right.
how would you see if someone were to jump right into Wingspan brand new? What would you recommend they do? Get just the base game, get any expansions to start with?
Oh yeah, I would say definitely just the base game. They have, I think they call it a quick start or swift start something,
Mm,
specifically so that you use these starter cards in your first game while you learn to play. And obviously, it's a little bit easier to play with those starter cards than just using all the cards to begin with. So I would say the base game is a good place to start. But even just playing the digital implementation to learn the rules is probably the best place for a new player to start. Because sometimes just having all the components in front of you could be overwhelming because there's the resources, the dice, there's all the cards. Especially if you're playing solo, then you have the solo deck. So yeah, if you're just trying to learn how to play Wingspan, I think the best place for you to do that would be probably Board Game Arena, and I think there is a Steam version as well
yeah,
available out there.
cool. All right. Well, that was Wingspan. You're number 20.
Yes.
We got number 19
Number
coming up.
19 is called Tumblin Dice. So this is a fantastic party game, new to my list. And this was kind of like a game I got on the whim because I was checking out Eagle Griffin Games' site and I was like, okay, this is a dice game.
Yeah.
So, immediately I was very interested. And then I think I needed to buy a little bit more to get to the free shipping on the site. So I added this one in. It was a very pricey game
Yeah.
for what it is, but the components are really good. Obviously, the dice are pretty standard, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a wooden platform, and you kind of put it together to make this like tilted board. And so, I've always loved games that mix a bit of skill and luck. And this one, the skill factor is dexterity. You have to be able to roll your dice or toss your dice down these levels. And what's neat about this is like it's just very competitive and it's so much fun. I played it with my family and friends, and it's just so much laughter, like a lot of competition. I even played it with my 3-year-old, and he
Mm.
understood the assignment. You have to just throw throw the dice and keep it on the board. Um, and Yeah, such a great party game. I think and it's a good game for anybody, honestly. It's like not language dependent or anything. So it's like I can play with my family, my husband's family who doesn't always speak English well. So it's like it's a great family game that I think everyone can enjoy.
I
Um,
need to play this one.
yes.
I've seen it for such a long time too, and I know the price is like what 70 something bucks on
Yeah, it's up
Eagle
there. Yeah.
Griffin,
Yeah.
right? Because I've been in the same dilemma where I'm like I want free shipping, and granted, I think free shipping on Eagle Griffin games is like $125 anyway. It's pretty high,
Could be, yeah.
but I've always I love dexterity games, and this is just a big toy you're playing with. Mr. Rao, a big fan of tumbling dice. Got the shop kids to make me one out of scrap wood at the
Oh, that's awesome.
school. Whoa.
Yeah, it might be nice to put like a Tabletop Express logo there instead.
There you go. I just don't want Eagle Griffin to be knocking on our door, like,
Yeah.
hey, give me some of that tumbling dice money. But yeah, no, that's exciting. This was exciting for me to see. So I'm glad to see it on your table. Oh well, on your top 20 of
Yes.
all time. So what's your number 18?
So this one is Sea Salt and Paper. Pretty sure everyone knows what this game is, but I actually was introduced to this one on Board Game Arena. I played 170 games of this so far,
What?
and I'm still playing so many games. Like I have a lot of turn-based games on Board Game Arena, so it's just never ending, and I love it. And I only recently took this picture when I got the physical version. And at first I was worried, like with Board Game Arena, they kind of count all your points for you. You don't have to really count it yourself. So I was like, ugh, I don't know if I'm gonna want to count it out myself. But I actually really enjoyed holding the cards and seeing it in person because I didn't appreciate the art on these cards as much when I played, digitally. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is like origami. So
Yeah.
the pictures are, obviously the theme is like oceans, like sea salt stuff. but it's like origami, and that's where the paper comes in, obviously. And I think it's beautiful. It's very, very fun art. And I don't know if this is a picture or if it was like digitally created. It'd be neat if they actually like folded this out and took like photography pictures of it. That I haven't found that out, but I really enjoy the art on this for sure.
That's a
And
great
it's very
point.
simple.
Yeah.
Like the iconography, it could take a little bit to get used to, but I love that they have the colors and the icons that help with the game.
Yeah, I mean, this game, like the art just stands out so much, you know, and in a sea, uh, sorry for the pun, but in a sea of so many small box board games, like you got to stand out, and I feel like the origami approach really helped out, you know.
Agreed.
Mr.
Yeah.
Al wants to know if you ever hit the mermaid victory condition.
I have not. When I
What is
played
that?
against my sister, she has, and that was like I was shocked. Like it's not really that common. I feel the most I had was three, and even that I think only happened once. But
What
one
is
of
the
these
mermaid
days,
condition?
huh? Oh, so if
Yeah.
you get four mermaids into your hand, you basically win the game.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's only
Okay.
four mermaids in the entire deck though, so um,
Traveling Todd wants to know, can this be played solo?
no, it can't. But I'm pretty sure it could be easily done solo. Just someone has to come up with some of like the baseline rules for it because it's just a matter of people taking your cards and making it more difficult for you to create your sets and get your points. So I imagine that it would be a very easy one to play solo. Um, but I haven't come across a solo mode yet.
Nice. Like Shelly Beauty saying, I love this game so much. There you go.
Yes.
Nice. So that was sea salt and paper. Nice. We're on a good roll already. And that's two brand new to your list and one from
Mm-hmm.
last year.
Yep. All right. So number 17. This one is Eila and Something Shiny. So something about this game intrigued me because honestly, campaign games they don't really have the best track record for me. Um, and actually, I never finished this one, but I really enjoyed the chapters I did get through. And hopefully, this picture doesn't show any spoilers. If it is, just close your eyes. But I really liked this game. The narrative was really fun to follow along. And as a solo game, it's a co-op game, but I played a solo, and I really didn't feel like it needed to be any more than just one player playing this game. I liked being able to make all the decisions myself, following the story along in the cards. I like the system that this game has, and it's kind of new to me because I don't play too many campaign games. But each of those decks that you see on the board, they have like numbers. Well, most of the decks, not all of them, but they have numbers where as you play the game, they reference certain numbers in those decks, and it kind of changes things up as you
Mm.
play, depending on which cards you decide to keep or which cards you decide to you know remove from the deck. So it's very interesting. I really like the system. I could imagine this kind of system being used across the board for other campaign games and other themes. So I'm interested to see if they come up with something else. I think there's a total of 5 chapters, and I got through 4 of them. And it
Oh,
wasn't easy. It was actually pretty difficult to get through chapter 4. It took me like 3 tries, I think. But yeah, very enjoyable game. If you guys haven't checked it out, definitely do. Especially if you're a solo gamer, I recommend it.
I know Barros has it, and yeah, he's saying that he has feelings about second level. One of the characters you deal with made me very angry in the best ways. But Tyler's saying he had to step away, but does this have some decent replayability? Yeah, that's a great question.
So I don't know. I haven't tried to replay it, but I think it would be fine if you take like a year in between. I think some of the things, because I have replayed chapter 4 quite a bit, there's things you learn and you remember on how to approach something that probably would ruin the replayability for me. But I don't plan on getting rid of this game only because I think it's a game worth showing my family and friends. And not so much just for me, but like being able to share with other people, I think
Mm,
is important.
nice. And I remember this was like woefully out of print at one point, and then there was a recent print run, I think last year, right?
Yeah, so I think this was actually the reprint. And as you
Yeah.
can see, some of the cards are a little curved and warped. So that was, I think, one of the issues with the reprint, if I
Okay.
remember correctly, when I looked into it. But yeah, the quality of the cards could be a little bit better. It's curved a little bit, and I don't love when the deck isn't flat. It kind of
Yeah.
bothers me when the cards sometimes like slip off. But it happens. It's not
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
I get it. But cool. So Eila and Something Shiny was your number 17? And that
Yep.
was new to the
17.
list too. We saw some people new in the chat too. So Imagine Eric and NJ Subby Miss Tumblin Dice. Yeah. But we can rewatch this later too.
Oh yeah, that's my sister.
Oh,
She
cool.
loves tumbling dice just as much as I do.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get this game. All right. This is a bad list for me. Go ahead.
So number 16 is Uno Ultimate Marvel.
What?
And this one I think is probably a surprising one for people. But I played this a couple of times and I really love it. Uno has been a game that's been part of my life for a long time. It's a game I played with my family growing up. So there's some, nostalgia there. But I like the fact that many people, you play games with have heard of Uno and know the concept of Uno. So there's an easy game to bring to, gatherings and just, say, hey, this is like Uno, but a little bit better, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because you have unique decks. You choose a hero and you have your own deck, and you have your own unique abilities as well related to the hero. So there's some uh, strategy there because each person has a deck that kind of does something different. And I think like the Spider-Man deck was like a mill deck type of game where they're trying to mill the other opponents. And once you run out of your cards, you I think you die or you lose the game. And another interesting aspect about this game that I liked is in the center of the table, there's like a danger deck,
Hmm.
and that impacts like, everybody. And it could be very difficult for people to catch up, or it might, be a good thing for certain players. It depends how, which card you pull out of the danger deck. So that changes some things out of, everybody's control, which I think is very exciting. But yeah, this is a very quick game. Takes about like maybe 20 to 30 minutes. I guess really depending how long people decide to, the cards they want to play. But overall, very enjoyable game. I think I have 8 different decks. So there's a lot of, replayability with
Okay.
it, in my opinion, because you could play different decks every time. And, depending on how many players you're playing, it also changes up how many cards are in the danger deck. So each hero also comes with their own danger cards, and they all get pooled together in the danger deck. So, yeah, it's a game I really enjoy.
How many
It's not
different
solo
heroes are
friendly,
there?
but
Oh, is it?
a good
Okay.
competitive game.
How many heroes are we talking in that come in this game?
I don't know how many come in it. I think I have 8, and there's some like stragglers that may have been, expansions.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think at least 8,
I think
because
I also
they
saw.
came out with 2
Yeah.
sets, and each of them I think came with four decks.
Yeah. Because I think I saw someone post. Uh, they had like a. Is there like a DC Comics version of this one too?
Oh, is
If
there? I'll have
I,
to look.
I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
so much comic stuff.
Oh, I know. It's never ending.
Michael Newsom saying, Uno, do you
Mhm.
have a favorite character?
Me? No, I haven't played too much. I liked Iron Man when I played though.
Okay.
It felt pretty solid. But my brother-in-law Anthony, he played Spider-Man,
Hmm.
and I don't know. That was a really I think he ended up winning that game. That was a rough one for us, the
Okay.
rest of us. So Spider-Man might be the OP there.
Yeah, well, and then is the danger deck similar to bombs and exploding kittens?
I don't remember exploding. I don't play exploding kittens much. Do you, Ryan? It's like,
No worries. Oh, Team Cap. What a surprise.
yeah.
It's all right. I'm Team Doctor Doom. Cool. All right. So we are math is hard. What are we? A quarter of the way there?
Yeah, yeah, we're at number 15 now.
Number 15.
So this one is the Castles of Burgundy.
Ooh.
So the specific version that I have is the special edition one. Um, and that one came out last year. And I've only ever really played this on Board Game Arena before I got the physical version.
Hmm.
And when I saw it was on sale at Boardtopia, I was like, I have to get it. And Boardtopia is local, so I don't even have to pay for shipping. And this box is pretty heavy and big. It's one of the biggest, heaviest games I have.
Yeah.
And so I was lucky that I didn't have to bother with the shipping. I just like picked it up. But yeah, I really like the solo automa that came with this version. There was like a new one that was developed, and I was a little nervous that it would be a little too like overwhelming for me to manage, but
Mhm.
surprisingly, it only took me like maybe 1.5 games to really get it down pat and not have to look at my rule book too much to
Oh,
play.
nice.
And then I played that 2-player as well, which was very fun. I think 2-player automa is the way to go here, because it is a bit of a long game. I don't love long games. I like games that are within like 45 or less.
Hmm.
But yeah, this one is worth it for sure. It's a little bit pricey, but the components feel really good. I remember when I played with my husband, he was really impressed by the overall gameplay and also the components that came with it.
The one that you have, is that the one with all miniatures, or is like the acrylic tiles?
So
I
I
think
didn't
that
get the
was.
one with the acrylic tiles, but it did
Yeah.
come with like the castles, the miniatures.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. But I didn't end up playing with those. They just took up a little too much space. But the only ones I used were I think the castles.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I also like how it comes with, I don't know if other versions of Castles of Burgundy come with it, but it's like this it's like a plastic wire thing that makes sure that the tiles stay. I
Oh,
don't know
that
what you
definitely
call it.
doesn't come with any other castles of
Oh,
Burgundy.
okay. Yeah, that was helpful because it always bothers me when things just move out of place. So that keeps all the tiles in place, which I like.
Oh yeah, no, it shifts. It
Yeah.
shifts. I've had many a game of Castles of Burgundy where my tiles are kind of shifting all over the
Yeah.
place. Which imagine Eric saying it's his number one game, closing in
Awesome.
on 200
Wow.
plays. Loves it so much. Look at that Avatar. It's Castles of Burgundy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then Tyler is saying, what did he say? That it's number 160 for him. Holy
Wow.
mackerel. Uh, Traveling Tots saying special edition is so nice. And let's see, we got Barrow saying 20 backed. And Shui Huey, welcome. Classic inlays for the duchies.
Yes,
So
that's what they are. Yeah.
there you go.
And this one also came with the was it the Vinland
Oh, the
expansion?
vineyards or
Vineyards.
the
Yeah.
vineyard? Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
was one of the expansions. So that's the expansion where you place where it's that's a tile expansion, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
I
I
haven't played it yet, but there's just so much like because it came with multiple different maps too,
yeah,
as well. So like it's just I've only like just chipped the edge of it so far.
yeah, and I think one of them is currently just like not recommended for play, and at least in the older games. I don't know if they recommend it for the later ones, just because it's a little
Oh,
bit
okay.
overpowered and stuff. Um,
Good to know.
but yeah. Oh, Shui saying it's a brand new expansion. Then which one am I thinking of? I know there's definitely one. Maybe it's something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the gardens. I don't remember. I don't remember. It's whatever. Castles of Burgundy. Cool. So
Yes.
that's new to your list too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's only one oldie in here so far.
So far, yeah. So next one, number 14, is Marvel Champions. I know there's a lot of big fans of this one, at
How
least
is
on
this
the
new to
Discord.
your this is new
Yeah.
to your list?
Apparently, I don't
Wow.
know. I guess so. But yeah,
Cool.
this is a living card game in case there's anyone watching who's unsure of what it is. But it's a living card game, and you basically play as a team. It's a co-op game. You could play it solo, but it's really tough to play true solo. And
Mm,
even I feel like it's tough even just to play solo in general. Because for me, I like to just focus on one. Playing true solo like one deck. But when I play two decks, I get so confused. I forget whose turn it is and stuff like that. That's just a me problem, I think. But
no,
yeah,
it's
this one's a
that's
fun
the same way
one.
with me too. I've done
Yeah.
the two-handed solo, and I always forget like whose turn it actually is.
Yeah, it's like which hand is it?
Yeah.
um, but yeah, this one's fun. There's like so much content, and I have not let myself get too in the weeds of it. So I really only have the base game and I think Galaxy's Most Wanted.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty much all the content I have, and it's more than enough for me. I think with the precons, I've always just kept it, the pre-constructed decks. I've
Mhm.
always kept it intact. So I just, if I want to play, it's easy to set up. I just pull those decks out and just start playing. But I know a lot of people do create their own custom decks. I hope I can get there one day. I don't
Uh,
know the basis of a really good hero deck yet, but I like the Deadpool expansion deck. That one
mm.
was really fun. I liked how they changed up the art and like crossed out some of the words on the cards to make it, the Deadpool theme. But yeah,
Connecting
I
with a
really
new
like all the
aspect
different
too.
heroes.
That's a new aspect one too, right? Like the pool aspect.
Yes, it's like a pinkish color, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that was neat. But yeah, just so much content with it, and I'm excited that even if I will decks and start playing like that, so lots of opportunities for play for me.
Do you have a favorite hero so far?
So no, not really. I would say the one I play often is Iron Man.
Okay.
I don't know why.
It's
That
two
that
for
was also
two
the deck I
today.
chose for Uno Marvel. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then what about villain set? Because I know there's a bunch of them.
So I like to keep it simple. I pretty much is a Rhino. I think that's
Yeah.
part of the base one. So I like to try to keep something the same when I do my solo game. So I usually try to keep the villains the same and then change up the heroes I use to play. But Rhino's not too easy. I don't tend to win,
Are
even on
you?
the easy level, like the normal mode.
Yeah, he can be swingy, especially in like lower player counts. Especially,
Yeah.
he could be really swingy. So I definitely see that. And I remember I think Thor doing true solo with Thor against him is really tough because Thor is all about like minions, and Rhino
Mm.
has no minions. He's just Rhino.
Yeah, I had to probably Google which heroes would be good against Rhino just to make sure I have a chance, right?
Yeah, but man, I'm overdue with playing this one. But new to your list,
Yep.
so
All right. Number 13 for Northwood is a solo trick taking game. So this one is solo only. And this is, I think, one of my pictures. And as you can tell, it's a horrible print and play version of it. But I ended up actually getting the actual like physical version, like production version of it. I think through either a trade or something. So luckily, I don't have to play with this version. I actually gave this print and play version to my sister. I'm not sure she's touched it, but this is an awesome game. As you can see, it doesn't take up much space at all, but it is a trick taking game, and this is the first game where I actually understood trick taking. I tried playing like Fox in the Forest, I think,
mhm.
one time, and that just like went over my head. I did not understand how to win, or there was no strategy at all that I understood. But this one really taught me the ropes of what trick taking really was. And I love the adorable art, and it really is such a quick game to play, and you don't really need too much space to play, as I mentioned. So, during lunchtime, I work from home, so I just have a play mat right in front of me. I could just pull it out, play for 15 minutes after lunch, and be on my way. But yeah, this one's a very fun, rewarding game. Basically, you're trying to, I think those 8 cards that you see at the top in the row, they're rulers essentially, and you're trying
Mm.
to get the exact amount of tricks won that matches the number underneath, and they range from 0 to 7. So you have to strategically kind of pick which ruler you want to kind of target for your turn and win that many tricks. And if you go over, then so it's very interesting and strategic.
Hmm.
But if you were to get the exact amount of tricks for those rulers, you gain that card and you can use that. There's abilities basically under each of those rulers that you could use on a future turn.
That's cool. That sounds pretty awesome. And you said this is a print and play, but there's also is a retail edition or is it like a direct
Yeah.
Kickstarter kind of thing?
So I definitely got it from somewhere, and it was produced somehow. I forget if it was from a store or from a Kickstarter. It might have
Hmm.
been like from a secondhand from a Kickstarter or something. Yeah.
Nice.
But it should
Okay.
be available. I don't think it's like out of print. It should be available still.
Oh no, Tyler's saying it's
Oh, is this
super
super? Oh
difficult
gosh,
to
yeah.
find. Well, the print and play is available then?
Yeah, I think
Buy
the
it
files are
online.
available to purchase. As long as you have a good printer and paper cutter, I guess. I'm
Mm.
not very good at cutting the paper, even though I think they came with lines, as you can
Uh,
see. But
okay.
yeah,
A lot of love for this one too. Traveling Todd saying I love for Northwood. Knew this would be on your list. Chewy
yes.
Huey says this goes with me on every work trip.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's an easy one.
for Northwood's great game and part of Tyler's top 20. Huh.
Awesome.
Nice. Oh, 65 cards. That's all it comes with too. Wow. For Northwood. All right. I
Yeah.
gotta check this out. Your list
All
is so
right.
dangerous. Keep going.
All right. My number 12 is Astro Knights. So funnily enough, this is the same exact ranking as last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year it was number 12. So I
Yep.
thought that was interesting. But yeah, I mostly played this one at 2 players, interestingly. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. I mostly play with my husband, and we love co-op games. The games that we play together are typically co-op. And as a fan of Aeon's End, which is I believe, I don't know if the official term is prequel, but I'll call it a prequel to Astronauts because it's a very similar kind of mechanic of deck building. There's a market, and once you run out of your deck, you don't reshuffle your discard pile, which is the most interesting part. I think about how Aeon's End and Astronauts works. You don't need to shuffle. So
Mm-hmm.
you just flip over your discard pile and you just start drawing cards, just like any other game. But I like this game a lot because it's easy to get to the table. It doesn't take up too much space. And what this is pictured here is a solo game. So that's the setup for solo. Um, and yeah, that's literally my desk. So it doesn't take up too much space. And the bosses are very challenging. I don't think I could get bored playing this game because it comes with a couple of bosses. And I think there's actually expansion content too, where you might even get more. But yeah, I backed this one, and I did not regret. This was like one of the first, I think, Kickstarters that I backed.
Mm.
And I was like very nervous about it because you hear horror stories, but I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I can play with someone, because I think this game definitely shines at least with two characters. So even if you were to play solo, play with 2 characters. But yeah, I much prefer true solo, as you
Yeah,
know.
it's probably easier to manage than Marvel Champions too. At two-handed, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
The one thing I know too about this game, it has a turn order deck, which I think is pretty nifty. So you don't know whose turn it's going to be
that's
until
true.
that turn
Yeah.
order deck flips over, and then which Aeon's End is the same thing too, I believe.
Hmm. Yeah, that turn order deck sometimes can get so frustrating. Like I'm like, of course it would be the boss going again.
So Brian Chandler's saying Astronauts is the smoothest game I played in 2023.
Hmm.
Incredible. And Card Flopper wants to know how would you compare Astronauts to the bag builder Warp's Edge?
Um,
If you had to pick one.
so Warp's Edge, I played a couple of times, and it just felt really, really challenging. And I didn't feel like I understood the right strategy to win.
Yeah.
So I'd say actually it's hard for me to actually compare the two. I mean, the theme, this maybe the space theme might be the only thing that connects the two. But I do personally prefer Astronauts because um, I feel like I understand the mechanics of the game better.
Mm.
Warp's Edge, I feel like there's just more complexity on how to win against. I don't know if it's the boss or something, but you're trying to like I guess destroy the enemy. I forget the premise of Warp's Edge. It's been a few years.
Yeah. The by the way, Barrows is saying that he's a fan of the turn order deck, like in Cosmic Frog and the unmatched co-op version. Which, yeah, that whole mechanic, like it's essentially chip pull. Like whatever's pulled from the bag is who goes next. But Astronauts number 12.
Hmm. And number 11 is Kinfire Vainglory's Grotto. So another card-based game. As you can tell, I love card games.
Sure.
So not a surprise here. And this one actually has some dice involved, which actually, I don't know why it's not in my picture, but
I see one die.
that's actually a tracker. But
Oh,
yes. that tracks the life. I don't know. I guess my dice were missing that day and rolled away. But this one's really fun. I only recently got it maybe last month, and I've been playing it quite often. I found that the art was really intriguing. Actually, I liked the art first. Like that's the thing that got my attention when I first saw it. And then I was like, oh, let me check this out because they had a lot of ads on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm like, maybe I should just, click on this and see what it's about because the art really, got me into it. But then, when I actually looked into the game, it is a solo cooperative game. And so it's pretty simple. It's just, decks of cards, shuffle them up, lay them out. And then with the dice rolling, that basically tells you, if you succeed in a challenge. And basically you're trying to go through a well deck, I think is what it's called, which is kind of like that bigger deck on the left. And once you go to the bottom of that well, you meet the Vainglory. And you have to try to defeat it. So hopefully throughout, that journey down the well, you have succeeded enough so that you've got your lantern. There's a lantern card next to the character. So it's the middle card on the bottom that you can activate and make available to you. So hopefully you'll have that activated when you meet the Vainglory so that you can use up the abilities on that. And yeah, overall, it's such a fun game. There's a lot of luck to it, I think, as well. Which I don't mind. I know some people, don't prefer that, but I actually like the luck factor because my skills aren't always up there. So the luck factor can kind of change things for me for the better. But yeah, very enjoyable. It takes about 15, 20 minutes for me to get through a game, depending on how unlucky I am. And and it's really easy to reset and start playing again. So this one's definitely one I've played during my lunch break and recommended for solo. There is a second one that I just got called I think Scorn's Stockade, and then a third one coming in this kind of series called Callus's Lab. So there's a lot of content for it, and you can mix and match the decks, the secret decks that you play. So very cool.
There's a Chewy Huey saying that the new Kickstarter will come out April 30th for even more.
Yes, I've been looking into that. It seems a lot more involved than this than Kinfire Delve, but I might definitely have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, Barrows is reminding me that we have our review copy I still need to play. I will. I will. See, that's good. I don't need to buy this one. Gold foil cards? What?
Yes, these cards they have this this shine to it. I wish the camera showed it better, but yes, it's very, very nice looking cards.
All right. Kinfire Delve, Vainglory's Grotto. So we got 10 left already. We're flying through these.
Yeah.
Before we continue, though, I do want to just mention that if you do like the whole, part of the thing I love about doing these videos live is that I see a lot of the community from our Discord. So definitely join our Discord channel, which Danielle, DaniCha Discord home is on the Tabletop Express Discord, and I'm so grateful that that we get to share that with you too. So it's so fun. But yeah. So Barrows is in the chat. Be sure to drop that in the drop a link to it in the chat. He's already probably on it. He's like, I'm already going. So, all right, we got 10 left. Who's pumped?
Me, I'm pumped.
All right, let's get to it.
Yeah, let's do it. So number 10 is Fliptown. So this one I was looking for a while, and I actually couldn't find it. I only found it on eBay, and I was like, I don't know if I want to buy it off eBay. I don't know. I'm always skeptical of eBay, even though I bought only one other game from there. But I'm glad I did. And wait, no. Was this from eBay? No, I saw one on eBay. I don't think I bought it from eBay.
Okay.
I think I got this one from Noble Knight.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry. Just want to be transparent about where I got it from.
Sure.
But yeah, I really like this one, and it's definitely in my top 10 because of just how fun it is and how combo-y it is. So this is a flippin' right, and basically you could use like a regular deck of cards, but it comes with one in the box. So you just play with the cards that you get in the box, and it's, you know, a dry erase board, which I love. I always prefer when it's, you know, a dry erase board over, you know, a score pad or something. But yeah, basically there's different regions of this town. There's like the trail, there's the Badlands, the mine, and the town. And you're trying to rack up enough points so that you beat, well, in the solo mode, there's there you're trying to beat a cowbot is what they call it. And the game
Okay.
comes with 4 of them. And there's various difficulties as well. So there's some replayability there, and you could probably create your own campaign if you wanted to. And then there's also character cards, which are not pictured here. Some extra. I think it tells you what you start with, like what you might be able to do on, you know, in the game using that character. But yeah, I really like this one. I think the replayability is there with the AI. I played this at 2 players and I didn't really love it. So definitely recommend this for solo only. Mostly because you're basically just playing solo anyway. When you're playing with somebody else, you're just comparing scores at the end of the day. But yeah, this one takes up like no space. It's very compact, and the box itself is, you know, you could probably put it in a backpack in your set. Probably could play this on the train, on the airplane if you wanted to. So I love the fact that you could, you know, it's a small box game. It's a flip and write, and you don't have to waste paper when you play it.
Yeah.
So all those things check the boxes for me for a solo game.
Man, add this to the list. This looks really cool, though. Holy moly.
Yeah, I definitely recommend this. And I think they do have print and play files as well to purchase. So if you have the means to print this out and you have a deck of cards, then you're all set.
There you go.
Yeah.
Great to take camping.
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
Nice. That was number 10 Fliptown, which is yet again another new to the list. So far, only two games from last year. Man,
Yeah.
I bought so many games from last year's list. Now they're all garbage now. What's going on? Imaginary saying the print is too small, but yeah.
Yeah, it could probably be, you know, stand to have a redesign. I think a little bit. I think the gameplay is great, but a redesign of the board is a little bit too orange for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, granted, it is very, it does very, you know, it's very washes away sepia kind of thing.
Yeah. Too many shades of that color, I think.
Very sandboxy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try this one out. Cool.
All right. So number 9, I believe this was on my old list, is Onirim. And I have no idea if I ever say that name right. It's new to my list. Shocking. But yes, so this one is a game that I think Chris Barrows has suggested to me when I was first starting my solo gaming adventure. And so I picked it up. And so I played this a ton during my maternity leave. So it's nostalgic for me. Like, this was like how I stayed sane when I had a newborn. It's a very, very thinky game because you're trying to collect doors that you kind of see at the top of this picture. And luck is not always on your side. Basically, you're drawing cards, and what's in your hand is the options you have to play. And you can kind of see the row of cards towards the bottom where you have to like place the cards so that they don't have matching icons for the card before. And to collect the door, you have to place 3 cards of the same color and place it so that the icons are not the same after consecutively, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but yeah, it's a very thinky game. I rarely win, but it's fun. And one thing that I love about it is the shuffling. And I know that's strange because a lot of people, I think, complain about how much you have to shuffle in this game, but I found it to be one of the most like therapeutic part about this game is the shuffling. And as you can see, there's actually, I think it's my picture. I didn't sleeve these cards, which I sleeve just about every single card game I have. And I didn't sleeve these, even though you have to shuffle it like 1,000 times when you play. But I like that I didn't sleeve it because you can actually see the wear and tear on it. And I kind of like that. I kind of like seeing how much I've played this game. But yeah, very enjoyable solo game. I do recommend it. It comes with, I think, 4 mini expansions, or it could be three mini expansions, so that if you're kind of bored of the base game, which I'm never bored, but if you are, you could change it up with the expansions, and then you could also play with all the expansions at once. You don't just have to pick one, which is pretty interesting. So could definitely up the challenge there.
Man. Yeah, this one I never tried it because I've only tried one in the series. That was Sylveon, I think it was
Okay,
called,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
So I haven't tried anything else in the series though. Onirim, I think last year you had another one from the series too.
Did
think
I?
maybe I'm wrong. I don't
I
remember.
don't think so, because the only other one I would have had is that I really liked from this is Siberian.
Okay.
I don't
No, I don't
think
think it
that was
was
on my
then.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
But this
yeah,
one's fun. There's an app for it. I play on my phone sometimes as well. Very
there's
simple
love.
app.
Yeah,
And oh yeah, yeah, there you go. Yep.
yeah, lots of love for the app. Barrows
Hmm.
recommended it too. You're right. Tyler only knows it from Rolling Realms.
Yes, there is a promo realm with for Onirim. So you kind of get the gist of finding keys and the nightmare cards that are in the decks by playing Rolling Realms.
And I think this was the first in that series too, was it not? This game. It was must be one of
Possibly.
the
Yeah, I wouldn't be
earliest.
surprised. It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wow, number 9.
Mhm. All
Wow.
right. So number 8 is Numbsters, which I think is actually pretty fitting because I think number 8 is the mouth card in this game. Right? Yeah, that's funny. It only makes sense if you're aware of what this game is about. But
Okay.
basically, there's a mouth card, and it's actually in this picture, the number 8.
All right.
And you're basically trying to eat all the numbers until you just have the mouth card and one of the number cards left.
Hmm.
So very thinky, and I could play this just in the palm of my hand. So I don't really need a table. You don't really need a table if you can handle all of it on your hands or even just on your lap. And I play this every so often, like if I have 5 or 10 minutes to kill, maybe I'm making food or something. I'll just pull this out and I play a game of it. I often lose because I'm not like thinking hard enough to make sure I win. But this one is a really fun one. It's like one of those wallet type games, as you can see, kind of in the background. There's that pink wallet, and it comes with, I think, it's an 18 card game. So I think there's 18 cards, and I really like it for solo. And I think the numbers are adorable. They're like little monsters shaped as numbers. So
Yeah.
yeah, very fun game.
And it tells you right here how the monsters eat each other, or is that correct?
Yeah, so each of those cards have like specific abilities. So like the number 6 says double digit numbster eats single digit numbster. And basically when you're holding the cards in your hand, you can't like shuffle around the cards. You have to keep it in that specific order. And then
Mm.
the card on at the top, I guess, like the card that you can see the entire face of, that's an ability you can choose to use if you don't want to do like the default eating rules. So this can help you win the game. So utilizing the first card is ideal. And then the way you lose the game is if the number 8 is on the top. So you never want the number 8 on top of your hand.
Mm.
So
That's
there's like little
interesting.
rules that you have to kind of remember. But this one is really really fun, and I could play this probably 3 times in a row and enjoy it every time.
Nice. That sounds like a really cool mechanic. Kind
Hmm.
kind of like billiards. You don't want to get the 8 ball in. You want to get as many as you can, and then at the end you do the 8 ball.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, Numbsters. Yeah, and Button Shy Games, which Dr. J. Gabe Fan is bringing up, and us
Hmm.
New Jerseyers should take a road trip down to the Button Shy store. Danielle, have you been to the Button Shy store?
No, I haven't. I thought about it. My sister lives in Philly, and I think it's kind of on the way down
Mm-hmm.
towards Philly. So maybe one of these days. But I think their hours are a little interesting. I don't know if I could ever really make it when they're open, but I'll see. I'll definitely take a look.
All right, cool. That was your number 8. 7 more to go.
Yeah. All right. So number 7 is Coffee Roaster.
This was last year.
Yes, so this was definitely on my list last year, and this is a solo only game, and it's coffee themed, which I like. And basically, you're trying to roast a perfect cup of coffee. On the left side of the image here, you see like a card, and it kind of tells you what you need, like how to set up the game, and then the points that you might need to win the perfect game. And so it's kind of like it might be bag building, I guess, is the mechanic here, because you're trying to roast your beans, and the beans are basically tokens, and you can kind of get a glimpse of those tokens in the box at the top of the image. And basically, as you roast them, the number gets higher, and that's not always good, but you want to try to get a certain amount of value out of those coffee beans. So as you play the game, you're manipulating what's in your bag. You're using some of the actions that's on the board as well to get you to that point, and hopefully you're brewing the perfect cup of coffee. And what I find most interesting about this game is you choose when you want to start, when you want to end the game. So if you think that you're at the point of brewing that perfect cup of coffee, then you decide that, and you start scoring. And that's the most exciting part, is like scoring, because all your beans are in the bag, and as you pull them out, you're placing it in that mug on the right hand side, and any that you don't want, you can place into the trays on the board. But sometimes there's your luck runs out if you have too many high numbered valued beans, or too many low ones, because then you can't get that sweet spot of a number that your scenario told you to get. But yeah, this was a very fun solo game. I feel like there's nothing like this one. This is such a unique experience in a game that I probably will never get rid of this one.
Yeah, it is very unique. And you're right, it's that constant struggle you have where do I, am I good enough? Do I have enough beans in here that I'm gonna not blow it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely that constant push and pull.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's actually a tracker in the middle, kind of like
yeah,
that darker ruler there, where you could track like the values that you're currently at. Oftentimes I forget to do that, and it's like a guess.
same. Same. I
But
always
you can
forget to do it.
definitely, yeah, use that to your benefit.
Yeah. And Card Flopper is absolutely correct. Where is the obligatory cup of coffee in the background?
Oh. And next time I have to retake this picture.
Barrow says it's at his coffee shop. I think he probably left a copy there. Traveling Todd likes the game but hates coffee.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Love the smell, hate the taste. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
but
would
it's all
be actually pretty neat
yeah.
if like this game came scented like coffee. That'd be pretty cool. You know how
Mmm.
sometimes you like could buy things and it kind of smells like what it is, like
Yeah.
maybe popcorn or something. But yeah.
Scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
Coffee roasters. You know? Look at that. Tyler's drinking coffee right now.
Oh, so late.
Yeah. And that was your number 15 last year.
Mhm.
Tonight, it's your number 7.
Number 7. Yep.
Holy mackerel. All right, what's number 6? I'm excited.
Number 6 is Dice Throne. So
Oh,
this
man.
one is one that I wish I played more. Although I am grateful for the webcam community that I've been playing with. As you can see, there's like I play on Discord, so it's pretty cool that I'm able to still play this game even though I don't play it too often in person.
Mm-hmm.
I have basically access to all of the Dice Throne content that exists right now. My sister and her husband they bought like the Marvel one, and I got
Mm-hmm.
the base game and adventure, so we kind of all play together when we can, although it's been a while. And I really like the Santa and Krampus one that came out. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the one on the right that's pictured here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really like how fun it is. It is a dice game, well, dice card game. You basically choose a character or a hero if you're playing the Marvel one, and you're facing off against somebody. Well, there's actually a couple modes you can play. There's like 1v1, which is my preferred way of playing the game. There's co-op, which you would use Dice Throne Adventures, because you're kind of like you're going through a dungeon with your friends, and it's a co-op game at that
Mm-hmm.
point. And then there's also like King of the Hill, where you can play with multiple people and try to defeat everybody. And then I think there's teams. You could play teams as well, which I don't think I've done before. But there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of replayability here. I haven't gotten bored of Dice Throne after all these years. And I definitely backed their latest Kickstarter. So very excited for the Dice Throne missions that's coming out later this year. That I
Cool.
think that I'll get that a lot faster to the table than Dice Throne Adventures, because Dice Throne Adventures is very involved. Like it's a big box, you have to take out all the components, and I think missions will be a little bit easier for me to manage. And I think it's solo friendly, definitely cooperative. I believe it is solo friendly though.
Okay. And this was your number one last year.
Yes, yes,
Holy moly.
yeah. But yeah, I probably would still be my number one if I played it more. It's just I
Okay.
don't get the chance. And I have so many other games, obviously, all the new games you saw on this list
Yeah.
I've been playing. So
The imagine Eric saying, "Can't wait to get the X-Men chest and have some Marvel versus X-Men battles." Dice Throne Adventures is awesome for co-op. And someone I work with is nuts about Dice Throne. Look at that. Oh, look, be interested in doing that. Dice Thrones would be perfect. I'm assuming for a webcam game.
yeah.
So
Yeah, we should totally do it. That'd be fun. Maybe a tournament or something.
yeah.
But yeah, one of the most like I love this game because like you're trying to roll for sixes most of
Hmm.
the time, because there's the concept of rolling the ultimate,
Yeah.
which is like this crazy ability that all the characters have, and if you roll it, you pretty much hopefully usually win the game because not much can stop an ultimate. So rolling those sixes are super important, and there's obviously cards that can manipulate the dice so that you could get that ultimate. But
Hmm.
very exciting game. I don't think there's ever been a dull like dice thrown match ever. It's always very exciting.
Nice. Oh, hang on. Barros is bringing up that it could be a crossover this year with Anthony. Could be.
Maybe, yeah.
Before we move on to our top five, take a look at the current list already. So we got Wingspan, Tumblin Dice, Sea Salt and Paper, Eila and Something Shiny, Uno Ultimate Marvel, The Castles of Burgundy, Marvel Champions, the card game, For Northwood, the exclaim it, a solo trick taking game, Astro Knights, Kinfire Delve, Vainglory's Grotto, Fliptown, Onirim, Numbsters, Coffee Roaster, Dice Throne, and now your top five.
My top five. So number five is A Gentle Rain. And I am so happy that they did a reprint because now everybody else who's been waiting to get their copy can get it and finally appreciate this solo game. I really enjoy it. This is a picture of a game that's finished, I think, because I see the eight. Oh wait, maybe it's not finished. I don't know. Maybe I can't count. There should be eight blossoms. That's how you know the game was probably won and finished. But yeah,
Great.
it's a very fun tile laying game. As you can see, you're trying to place tiles so that the halves of those, I think it's the lilies, match the other half of the one that's already on the table. So as you're creating a square with four of those tiles, you can place those blossom tokens on top.
Hmm.
And it's very fun. It's very thinky. There's another one that shows up on my during my lunch hour. So and it's a very compact box. I don't know if I have it right here this moment, but oh yeah, I do. But yeah, it's very fun. You could bring it anywhere. It could fit probably in any backpack or a little bag you have, and it is a fun time. It is not one that you can just play on a smaller table. This is one I do like to have a little bit of space because you don't know how you might build this out.
Mm.
Changes every time you play. So sometimes I am limited by my desk space, and so I had to make decisions that maybe I wouldn't have preferred to because I can't place the tile where I wanted it to be. But I think of that as like an extra challenge, working within your space to win the game still. But yeah, very fun game. I think the art changed a little bit in the reprint, I believe, but I still think the gist of the gameplay is still there. So
Is this the
definitely
original or the reprint?
this is the original.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was able to find this one on eBay. And it was, already open, but it was in great condition. And I kind of wish that the edges weren't so sharp. At least in this one, the edges are a little sharp.
Hmm.
And so the print, I'm worried that it might split, like the tiles might split over
Oh,
time.
sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, because you have to shuffle those too, right? I'm guessing.
You do, yeah. And the way I play is I usually create three stacks, and I just just take one tile from each stack as I play. This way I don't have to spend too much time shuffling, and that usually works out for me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Card Flopper wants to know if this is about zombies.
It'd be interesting to see a zombie theme of this.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I see comments about the scented board games for Coffee Roaster. I'm sure Gentle Rain could be a good scented game too. You know?
Yeah. I could imagine smelling some floral scents there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The last four.
Yes, the last four. So number 4 is KAPOW. Volume 1, I guess. There are 2 volumes, so it doesn't matter. Volume 1 or volume 2. I have
Sure.
both of them, but I've mostly only played volume 1 so far. And this one has a very interesting concept. So if you're familiar with like Dice Forge, how you build dice or choose your dice, KAPOW is kind of similar in that fashion. You get a dice that you basically gain faces for. So most of the time you get it blank. So there's that big die on the left where it's usually blank. It has no faces. And then as you play the game, you gain these faces, and sometimes you get to choose which one, sometimes you don't, but you gain them and you get to decide to put them on that die, and it changes the game for you as you play. So I like that aspect of it, but it's basically like a dice chucking type of game. And there's a couple of different modes you can play. Obviously, definitely solo friendly, and each of the characters you could flip it over for the solo mode. And some of them are more complex than others, which I like because it kind of reinforces the replayability of it. It's like you can always, play against one of the other characters and play as another character as an AI. But also it's really fun 1v1, which I've played as well. So either or is a great experience. You don't need too much space to play. You just really need that board. You have this little privacy thing, which reminds me of like school when you had to put up your folders when you did standardized testing. But this is so that your opponent can't see what you're doing and
Got
can't
it.
like plan their turn off of what you're doing.
Sure.
So if you play with a lot of cheaters, this is probably not the game for you because they probably just change the dice to whatever they want. But
Yeah, that's
if
not
you trust the
cool.
person you're playing with, it's a very fun game. I think I would probably say it's a little bit like Dice Throne, but without cards. You're not really playing with cards here. You have your own, you have your boards with different powers, and your character board also has specific powers unique to you, which I think is very fun.
This looks neat. So if I were to jump into this, doesn't matter which volume I get?
I don't think so. It just comes with a variety of different characters. I don't think there's like one that's easier to learn. I assume volume 1 might be that one.
Okay.
Assuming they came out with that one first. But this one, I'd say as long as you're open to learning how the game works, I don't think it matters which volume you go with. I decided to start with volume 1 because I don't know, just I can't imagine starting with something that's volume 2 before
Sure.
number 1. Yeah.
Traveling Todd saying, I figured this would be on your list. So.
Yeah. This one's just so fun and challenging. Because every time I lose, and I lose my games a lot, as some of you might see in my playthroughs, like I rarely win, and so like it just keeps me coming back. Like and just resetting the game is also just, I don't know, I like setting up games. Sometimes I just set up games and I don't even play it.
Yeah.
I just enjoy that aspect of it too. And this one's very easy to set up. And I do have to say though, the dice, the one where you put the faces on it, is not always like foolproof. Like sometimes you roll it and the faces fall off. So that could be a little bit annoying. But I don't know if that's just me, or that's just like something to be expected with that type of component. Because I really haven't seen a game do it too well. I think Dice Forge was very difficult to take off the faces. Like I was like breaking my fingers or using that thing to try to take it out, and it was difficult. And this one's much easier to take out, but also that means it's easier to fall off as you're rolling the dice.
Hey, Frank Banner, good point. Cheerful losers unite. I'm glad to be part of that group as well, too. And Volume 2 has a Swamp Thing clone. And I have heard that from other people that the faces fall off when rolling. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping they come up with a better solution. I thought maybe putting rubber bands around the corners just to keep them in place, and maybe might bounce a little bit more when it rolls, but it should be okay. But yeah, I'll probably figure out a more feasible solution at some point.
I mean, the not fun solution would be, I guess, having just a regular die and then just marking it on like a piece of paper what
Yeah,
base value is each. It's not as
yeah,
exciting, but you know,
yeah. That could work though for sure. Yeah.
it could. And that was KAPOW,
Yep.
Volume 1. 3
All
left.
right. So my top three. My number three is Wyrmspan.
Whoa.
So I love this game.
Okay.
And it, I was a little skeptical because like I was like, nothing can top Wingspan for me. And I have to say, there are some similarities obviously to Wingspan, but this is definitely its own game.
Hmm.
This the theme of dragons I never was interested in, but I actually really liked the art. I don't know if it was very divisive, like if people are really like the art or really don't, but I personally do prefer this art. I like that it's very fantastical and cute. And one of my favorite cards is like a dragon that looks like a koi fish. So it's really nice and imaginative. I really like some of the names of these as well. It's very creative.
Hmm.
Because obviously Wingspan, they were based on real birds. I don't think any of those were fantastical at all.
Sure.
But yeah, obviously these dragons are not real to my knowledge. Um, and yeah, as you can see, it's very beautiful. The playmat is very nice. There's kind of like that landscape for each of those caverns. Um, and overall, it's a very enjoyable game. I played this many times solo, and the automa is very easy to manage. And that's
Okay.
something that I think really shined for me was I didn't have to think for this automa. Like, I just played it and basically played on its own. I just had to move some pieces around. Um, and yeah, very fun. I don't know if I would probably get any expansions for this only because I have so much with Wingspan, and I feel like with Wyrmspan there's just enough to keep me satisfied for this. But yeah, definitely a solo favorite for me. I played multiplayer a couple of times. It is fun as well, but it drags on for a long time. I think the
Hmm.
games just take a long time when you play multiplayer, which is okay for some people, but I do prefer my games to be a little bit more quicker.
So you prefer this than solo because then they could just take
I
your
do.
time, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, solo
Just
for sure because I tend to make my decisions very quickly. I
yeah.
don't have AP often. I usually just follow my gut and I'm like, if I lose, I lose. I just so basically when I play, I just look at the scores. Sometimes I don't even score the AI or I forget to.
Sure.
Because you actually have to keep track of the cards. And actually, in one of my playthrough videos, I didn't keep track of what the AI was collecting, so I
Okay.
couldn't score for them. But if someone was so nice enough to keep track of what the AI was collecting during my playthrough, because I was actually able to figure out, they were able to figure out the score from that. Um, but
Oh, that's
yeah,
so
you do have to
awesome.
remember to set those aside. Yeah. But yeah,
Man.
those components I have on the top left, they're the upgraded ones, and
Okay.
I do recommend it. It definitely, the more premium components really do change the game for me. And I'm hoping to get my hands on the neoprene playmat. So the one pictured is the one that comes in the game, but I think they have the playmat, and it's currently sold out on the Stonemaier site. But
Mm,
hopefully one day I'll grab that one because I really like playing with the playmat over the cardboard.
man, I need to play this game.
Yeah.
Wyrmspan. So, uh, n- s- so it's not a Wingspan killer because you said right. You said it's very much a different game. So there's room for both games
Oh
in your
yeah.
collection.
Yeah, I do think there's room for both. Because with this one, I think it's just a little bit. I feel like the mechanics are pretty different, even though I know visually it kind of looks the same. Because with this one, you have the explore ability, so you kind of see that meeple towards the middle of that board,
Hmm.
where you get to pick a cavern and you get to explore them and reap the benefits of each of the caves or cards that you've landed on. So this is very. It feels almost like a worker placement too, whereas Wingspan didn't have too much of that going on. I also really like the Dragon Guild up on the top. There's the ability to go around this guild and you gain all the resources. And I feel like gaining resources is a lot easier in this game,
Okay.
just the way they designed this one. So you're not really stuck with the lack of resources to do what you need to do. Because I feel
Oh,
like
there's
Wingspan, you
no
do kind of
dice.
get stuck sometimes.
Oh, okay. So there's no dice and no
No dice.
birdhouse.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And by the way, Chewy Huey bringing up a really bad pun that I'll just show on camera. What's Bear saying? The removal of luck of the dice roll and having more control over what you want to pick up, plus the explore mechanic, it's just better in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I definitely should give this one a shot. And you could see like the same DNA a little bit from Wingspan,
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, and honestly, if I didn't play Wingspan in the first place, I probably would have never even considered Wyrmspan as a
Yeah,
game. So I think it was a good kind of, I don't know what they call it, gateway, I guess, to
sure.
Wyrmspan, because I'm not sure the theme would have spoken to me as much if I didn't already play Wingspan. But definitely two different games that will live in my collection.
Nice. And that was your number 3, Wyrmspan. 2 more.
Yep. So number 2 is Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North. And this I was pretty much convinced in the Tabletop Express Discord that this was a game I needed to get.
Okay.
And so I did, and I'm very glad that I did, because I got obsessed with it as soon as I got it. So I played a whole bunch of it. I even pretty much the next day, I think I ordered the Japanese Islands expansion, and then maybe like 2 weeks later, I decided to get the Wrath of the Lighthouse expansion, which I think is like a solo expansion, which I didn't try yet. But I did try the Japanese Islands decks, and basically this game, you're choosing a clan, and you're using that deck to build an empire, and your empire will give you a bunch of different resources, actions, and you're trying to just get as many points as you can by the end of the game. And the solo mode is really easy to play. It's really just like a scenario that you're trying to beat, and they
Hmm.
give you like a target score, and if you exceed it, then you can win. And sometimes there's like special rules for those campaigns, solo campaigns as well, that make it a little bit more challenging. But yeah, this is a very fun game. It is it's not a game that you build a deck for, I believe. At least I don't think people are building decks with these. You do have to use like the pre-constructed decks, um, which I think could impact the replayability a little bit, because for me, because I played so much all at once, when I played one scenario, I just kept that scenario and just changed up the clan decks
Oh, cool.
every time, so that I could see, which ones did better. And definitely there were some ones that played a little bit easier than the others. So um,
Do you
yeah,
have a
for
favorite
me, I think it's
faction?
good. There's lots of expansions, I think, that I could also get. Like there's one that's like the Egyptians or something like
Hmm.
that. So lots of potential for me to expand this game a little bit. But I think what I've got will keep me busy for a while.
So far, which was their favorite expansion, or sorry, favorite faction to play as?
I don't even know what their names are. I had
Okay.
to constantly have the rule book next to me so that I could match the picture, like
Yeah.
the image of the clan person to the clan name. So I can't even tell
Sure.
you.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I liked one from the Japanese islands. I don't know what the name of it is though. I think it was like the little girl. Looks like a little girl. But that one was fun. I played that one. I think twice before I moved on to another deck.
Yeah, it's one I need to try more. I know Barros loves it. I mean, he says now this is a fantastic choice. uh, and then let's see, components look great. Nice trade too. Oh, and I have this now. Seeing it on your list, I need to get it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, let me know what you think, Todd. I think this is a very fun game. There's like so many different aspects to it. Like there's different actions. You could kind of see that rondelle towards the middle of the picture, where you could use actions and take take bonus cards from your hand and play it whenever you do those actions. It's a little deeper than that, but yeah, there's lots of different things you can do in this game, and it's very quick when you play solo because you just take your turns back to back. So yeah.
nice. Uh, so before we pull up your number one, I do want people in the chat to start, if they can, start guessing what your number one could be. Danielle, do you think people will get your number one?
No, because you know what's funny? When I was prepping for this, I was going through this list myself, clicking one by one from 20, and I was like, "What's
Hmm.
my number one?" I have it's totally slipped my mind. So I don't know if anyone will will guess it because I didn't even guess it when I was prepping for this.
No, it's exciting. I mean, and it's so fun because you know, a week ago I got to put the list together. So seeing that, first of all, the majority of your list is brand new to the
Hmm.
list is exciting beyond
Yeah,
belief. Because I'm like, oh my goodness, like
a lot of
all
work
these.
for you. You couldn't reuse anything from last year.
No, yeah, it's okay. That's a okay. I like it because now, it shows just how taste can change, and
Yeah,
it's so nice to see, some games that are just new to the list. There's one guess of checkers. I'm pretty
checkers.
sure Yahtzee. All right, almost there.
Those are
So what's
some
your number
classic
one?
choices. So my number one is raising robots.
There it is.
Yeah.
Raising robots.
So yeah, of all the games I've played last year, this is like one that is definitely at the top of my list is number one. And I was overwhelmed by this game when I first opened it. I was like, wow, there's a lot of setup required because all those little tokens you have to sort. And I went on like a sorting spree, basically like even though I only play solo typically, I sorted all the player pieces together so that it makes the setup so much easier. So I spent time doing that, and then when I finally learned the game, I'm like, wow, this is a lot of fun. Like I actually like some games. I feel like I play and it feels like I'm doing work just to get through the game, but
Mm,
this one just feels like really rewarding. Because at the end of the game, you see all like the robots you build, and unfortunately, this picture doesn't show all the robots or any of the robot cards, but they're really cute and they have abilities on the bottom of them as well, where as you build them, you can utilize the abilities at the bottom of the robots on future turns. So they really just start, building upon each other. And I don't know if the mechanic is engine building, but I feel like it kind of combos off each other from how you build your robots. And this is a victory point based as well. So when you're playing um, solo, there I think there's like what do they call those? Like ranges or scores that you have to
uh,
hit, and you kind of just like rank yourself there.
yeah,
I
like
forget
beat
what
your
the
own
amount
score
is.
kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I do enjoy it, and it just feels like you're always doing something in this game. And how this game works is you have a couple of different actions you can do, and you get to choose, I think, two actions you do on that turn, and then the automa or the AI randomly chooses two as well, and then you just carry out that process in order. There's a specific order you follow
Hmm.
every time, and if one of those actions were chosen, then you carry that out in that order. So um, it's very thinky, and I do recommend this for solo. It plays very quick, and if you play often enough as I did, the setup is not too bad. But I think at first it is a bit to set things up. There's also variable starting characters. So you choose a character
Mm.
and there's like specific setup related to it. Maybe resources that are unique to you. And then you also have unique abilities that can get activated throughout the game once you hit certain checkpoints. But yeah, very enjoyable game. I wish there was a soft play mat for this one.
Okay.
But I don't think so. I might have to Google it. Maybe someone made one, but yeah, it's not bad. The
Are there
board.
like expansions for this game too, or is it or is there just a lot of content in that base box?
I think if I remember correctly, there's like a pets expansion. I don't have it though.
Okay.
I just have the base game. But yeah, this could probably definitely use some expansions to expand on the game.
And you prefer this one solo, or
I do, only
okay?
because when I played with my husband, it took a long time. And that's really it for me. Like time is so valuable. I don't have much
Yeah.
of it. So I'd rather play solo. I can play as fast as I want, as slow as I want. I can leave it on the table if I wanted to, and get back to it. So this one, uh, I do prefer solo, because sometimes people just take too long to think.
Man, raising robots. I keep hearing about this game too, so I'm really happy to see it as your number one. I'm very much in Todd's camp right now, which is I have not played this. I guess I have to buy this now and have Danny's seal of approval. So If there's one copy left, I guess buy it, Todd. I'll find somewhere else. Oh, and there, look at that. All factions fit into the folded space. Is this about Empires of the North, or is this about
Probably.
raising robots?
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably. But yeah, you bring up a good point, card flopper. Sorting, bagging, sleeving. Board gamers are indeed a wild bunch. But yeah,
Yeah.
raising
Such a
robots.
process.
Absolutely need to pick it up. Oh, Tyler wants to know if there's any honorable mentions that just missed the list.
You know what? I have to say, like, I didn't really include like TCGs
Hmm.
when I was doing my sorting, but I feel like they count
Sure.
as board games. So I would say my honorable mentions would be Star Wars Unlimited. Yeah, I've been
Oh wow.
playing that, and Lorcana. Like those two games have been kind of on my mind since they came out, and I find them to be incredibly fun. There's a webcam community for basically both games, and been having a ton of fun with those. I know it's kind of like a money pit sometimes, but
Yeah.
I try not to buy too many booster boxes, but sometimes it's just like, you have to.
And there were thoughts that Lorcana would have been on your list.
Yeah, yeah. I probably should have like a TCG, maybe like a top 3, because I played so many different TCGs as they come out. Like I just like exploring different card games and stuff. And but yeah, so far I've been really sticking with Lorcana and Star Wars Unlimited. And I try not to do, get into Magic too much, but I like playing Magic as well sometimes.
Mm.
Commander. I have a bunch of precons, older ones, which are timeless, I think. But yeah, those are the two TCGs I've been playing. One I've been playing a lot this past week is Marvel Legendary. So that one
Mm.
I really enjoyed in the past. In the past when I started getting into games, I like card games, so that was a no-brainer for me. So Marvel Legendary is a deck building game, and you're choosing heroes. And I play that. One true solo, and the new What If expansion or core set. I think it's a core set because it comes with all the things you need to play the game. Has new solo mode rules, and ever since that, I've been playing that so many times. It's crazy.
For Legendary?
Yeah, Marvel Legendary. Yeah,
Oh, interesting. I
yeah.
remember. I remember way back this when the solo was out that there was like a fan variant online, like the golden solo, and then there was later on some other solo modes.
Hmm.
Uh, and A Frank is asking any other button shy make honorable mentions.
Um, I can't think of any that I would say would be honorable. Maybe Food Chain Island
Okay.
is one. I like that one too. Um, but yeah, I did like, what's it called? The Last Lighthouse. That was one
Okay.
of the newer ones that had been released, and that one was very fun too. And Spaceship, of course, that one is a deserving one too. So
There you
if
go.
anyone's familiar with Spaceship, check that out for solo. I tend to like space themed games, although I never really um, enjoyed learning that topic in school, but I kind of like that theme in gaming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh, Chewy Huey saying got last lighthouse last week. Uh,
Oh,
Traveling Todd wants to know out of any game, what would have been your number 21, the one that just missed the list.
number 21. Um, you know what? Let me pull up my list real quick and
Sure.
see if I can see what that was.
I'm gonna guess it would be legendary.
Let's see. It was Hadrian's Wall.
Hadrian's Wall. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that one's definitely a fun one.
Okay.
But ever since it came out on Board Game Arena, I haven't touched the physical version. Just too easy to play on online. But Hadrian's Wall is a ton of fun.
Do
Yeah,
you do that one solo too on Board Game Arena?
yeah, yeah. You can
Nice.
play that solo. Yep.
Very cool.
Hmm.
I see Cardflopper has one more question too. Which game brought out the best stories afterwards?
The best stories, like gaming stories, like most exciting kind of
Yeah,
stories.
I'm guessing like experiences. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a tough one. I feel like that's probably Dice Throne for me, because I feel like there's just been crazy moments where like you're kind of, you have the upper hand, but then suddenly someone rolls all sixes, and a natural
Mm.
ultimate is like the ultimate. So if
What's
someone rolls all
natural
six,
ultimate?
that means you're rolling all your dice and you get sixes in that roll.
Oh, okay.
And you do get 2 rerolls, so as long as you roll it, I think that's called natural.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are probably the most exciting moments for me, and it changes the entire game once you hit the ultimate. So
Nice.
yeah, I'd say Dice Throne. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I do want to thank everyone for joining for this top 20. Take a look at it once more. It's pretty exciting stuff, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. This was fun. I appreciate you putting all this together, and everyone in the chat. It's been great seeing your messages and everything, and would love to hear more about your favorites in the Discord. As Ryan mentioned, there is a Tabletop Express Discord, and I have my own little section as well there. So would love to continue talking about some of your favorite board games as well for the past. I guess this wasn't even just limited to the past, like, published games in 2023, obviously, or 2024.
Oh yeah.
This was like all time, and
it's all time.
Yeah.
It's all time. But I saw a comment that you're all about the new hotness, so that's fine, you know.
Yep.
But no, this was so much fun. Yeah. So for sure, join our Discord. It's in the description of this video. Thanks so much for everyone for joining. Danielle, thank you so much for your list. Next week we'll be having a top 20 with. Well, we're having 2 top 20s. We'll be having one on Mr. Rao's channel as well as our Tabletop Express channel for Ryan Rao's top 20 of all time, followed by Chris Barros's top 20 of all time. And I got 2 lists to put together, guys. I need pictures. Send them my way. But until then, look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. See you later.